Alright then folks, this is Alan recording another comprehensive Magic the Gathering Arena Draft video. So yeah, just finished my Zendikar Rising Premier Draft video. So as a way to kind of close out and end the season before Kaldheim arrives, I think I'm just going to do a quick draft Coreset 2021. And I should have enough time to go over my picks. And yeah, this set isn't super amazing. White I think it's completely overpowered. But there's definitely some fun archetypes in this set. If you don't end up drafting white, maybe you end up in the blue-green mid-range draw your card matters archetype or blue-black reanimator, which I haven't showcased too much, as well as the blue-red spells deck. So we'll give this a shot and see what we can conjure up. So bot draft Coreset 2021. Yeah, I think it's just an easy face fetters. I wouldn't mind first picking Hooded Blightfang. This card is quite good. Especially if you have like Fetid Imps to constantly gain Death Touch and drain the opponent. And it's a fine blocker in black. In black, you tend to be very controlling in this set, so this card is an above average 3-drop, but overall, black has been significantly nerfed in this set, and their threats aren't just great. So probably just take the Face Feather as probably just a really good removal spell, gains me a bunch of life, and isn't the best color. Alternatively, if this wasn't his pack, just between Hood Blightfang and Basri's Acolyte, one can make the argument for both. But Basri's Acolyte is definitely one of the best white commons, if not the best white common in this entire set. There's also Finishing Blow, but I wouldn't take it over any of these two, along with Face Feathers, Brothos Oak for the blue-green card draw deck, Palladium Mirror if I'm trying to ramp into some large late-game bomb like Ugin could be amazing, but yeah, Face Feather seems perfect in the best color, so I guess we'll be drafting white. After first taking Face Feather, there's a Scorching Dragonfire, which it's definitely better than Falconer's Adept. Falconer's Adept I wouldn't mind playing in the white aggressive decks, but the stat line is pretty poor, and unless you're able to clear a path for it to enable the 1/1 bird tokens to get across, it can just get stonewalled all day. But pretty reasonable following up Face Feather, but I do like the Scorching Dragonfire a lot as the best red common in this set, along with Shock. And red-white is a good archetype. Alternatively, Kitesail Freebooter, Find Disruption spell if I'm in the black control deck. There's a Spy Megalodon for the blue-black Reanimator deck or blue-green ramp, but we'll take a Scorching Dragonfire in case we need to pivot out white. And it's also just a really good removal spell at common. Some interesting choices. There's a Hellkite Punisher for the late-game red decks. The Rinwing there is very medium. I don't like it that much. This pack just sucks. Maybe I just take a removal spell here. So if I take Hunter's Edge, that can go well in like White-Green's Counters deck, but it does require a good creature to fight with. And I guess we can even beat Red-Green Power 4 matters, whereas the Capture Sphere can leave me open to a Blue-Red Spells deck, although not an instant or sorcery to field the graveyard. It's fine, or I can end up in White-Blue Flyers. Overall, the Hunter's Edge could just be worse than the Capture Sphere, since you need to have a good creature with enough power, and also make sure that creature doesn't get answered by instant speed removal. So I could definitely see the reason for taking Capture Sphere over Hunter's Edge, since it just it can kind of guarantee to lock down a creature unless they have a counterspell or hexproof, whereas the Hunter's Edge could get countered by hexproof or counterspell, and also if they have another Scorching Dragonfire or Shock against our creature, the Hunter's Edge it can get negated. And I do like blue-red spells, and I also like red-white, blue-white flyers as well. I don't think I want to take the Hellkite Punisher if I was in red-white aggro. It's a fine finisher, but typically speaking, red has enough cheap creatures that you can just kind of curve out and kill the opponent without playing a late-game flyer like this. So I think I'll take the Capture Sphere here and keep my options open. Pretty late Obsessive Stitcher, but there's also Shock in this pack, which is definitely excellent. There's also Drowsing Tyrannodon as arguably the best green common, since it's great in the early game, and then great. It's pretty excellent in the early game as a good offensive creature if you can get a Power 4 going, or if you can, or if you want to play defense, this is quite good. So Drowsing Tyrannodon is an overperformer. Probably take the Shock over Rousing Reed, since just more removal is good. And I don't think I'm pivoting into like a blue-black Reanimator deck, but Obsessive Stitcher can be kind of fun. Also some good white cards, a Note to Cloister, Gale Swooper also excellent, but the Shock is just very efficient. And given that this set is very aggressive, you do want early interaction over creatures at times. So we'll take a shock here. So we have a chance of being blue, red spells, or red, white, aggro. And I do see a Siege Striker, which is great. And if we do pick up the Alpine Houndmaster, hopefully the Alpine Watchdogs can go around, and we can just basically get them for free once we play the Alpine Houndmaster. Valdalian Arcanist, if we're playing more expensive instances, and the sorceries can be okay. Chandra's Parling, I haven't been too impressed by, unless you pick up multiple Chandra's Magmuts, but we haven't seen any go around lately, so I don't think it's a pick here. Whereas the Siege Striker is just excellent in any white aggressive deck. Honestly, just being able to come down as like a 2/2 double striker or a 3/3. Yeah, this card is excellent, so I'll take it here. Okay, I'm not a big fan of Warmonger. I guess I can still take it here in case the black-red sacrifice deck is open. There's a Frost Breath, there's a Rambunctious Mutt, which I do like in the red-white aggro decks. Honestly, I haven't been too impressed by the black-red sacrifice deck since there's just not too many steal effects in the set, and at the very least, this is just a pretty mediocre 3-mana 3/3. So probably not going to be the pick here, and I don't want to move into 4 colors. The blue cards are medium. The Rambunctious Mutt is kind of medium too, but can be a fine curve topper, being able to destroy target artifact or enchantment, or maybe just take the short sword. In a set like this where you're looking to be aggressive, the short sword can be quite useful, just being able to pump our creatures for 2 mana, and that can be excellent. So I guess I'll take it here, and hopefully I can get a Rambunctious Mutt later, but we'll take a short sword. Nothing too amazing in that pack. I do like a Makeshift Battalion on turn 3 as a nice aggressive creature. If we pick up multiple 2-drops, the dub can be okay as well, but Makeshift Battalion is a solid 3-drop in the red-white aggro deck, so we'll take it here. And in case we end up in blue-white flyers, I guess I don't mind a random Lofty Denial as a nice counterspell, since we do have a Capture Sphere already. Now these blue cards are all random, medium. Cetessan Training is medium, so put a Lofty Denial on the sideboard, and pretty late Anointed Chorister. So I guess the bots also don't respect white in the set, which is arguably the best archetype. The best color. There's an excellent 1-drop, especially the short sword, and then later on, just being able to pump this as a 4/4 or 5/5 can be quite problematic for the opponent to deal with. So it seems great. Great 1-drop to curve out with, and even a Rambunctious Mutt made it, which is definitely a sleeper. So don't sleep on this card. There's a decent amount of enchantments and artifacts the opponent might have, opposing Face Fetters, opposing Capture Spheres, opposing short swords that you don't mind destroying, and this can be quite nice. I think I might even prefer this over to Valor Steed that's looking to go wide, since there's not a lot of pump spells in this set, but Rambunctious Mutt is quite decent. And even the Igneous Crow on turn 2 can be nice if we pick up those Alpine Houndmasters. So yeah, I guess we're just going to force the red-white aggro deck, which I think is the best archetype in this set. Haven't been too impressed by Mass Blackguard. It's much more of an aggressive black creature, which black, again, isn't trying to be aggressive in this set, so it's kind of a dead card, I hate to say it. Whereas the Spy Megalodon is just great in blue-black Reanimator. Alchemist's Gift is very okay. But yeah, Mass Blackguard is kind of a weird card in this set. Doesn't have any great synergy. And black is not trying to be aggressive at all. So yeah, I think we're in red-white. If I'm not surprised, we picked up a Scorching Dragonfire Shock. And if we pick up a Houndmaster, that would be amazing, since that can fetch out our Igneous Curse. And yeah, the blue cards just don't seem too amazing outside the single Capture Sphere we took. So yeah, and the green cards also weren't amazing, so I guess we didn't miss out on much taking the Capture Sphere over the Hunter's Edge. Although now this pack is not great. There's a Tutelage, which would be an amazing pack 1 pick 1 if we went that direction. Are we going to splash a Rada? Probably not. At this point, I think we're really committed to white, so I don't think we can say no to white in this draft. So do we transition to blue in case we end up in blue-white control? I mean, usually I'd rather have Teferi's Tutelage in blue-black or red-blue, since that's where most of the card draw advantage is. I currently don't have any card draw to leverage Teferi's Tutelage, so maybe it is just either the Alpine Watchdog or Turn to Slag. And I think I'm leaning towards the Watchdog here, just to have a dog in case we end up picking up an Alpine Houndmaster for the red-white Boros aggro deck. So I guess I'll take it. It's a pretty unexciting pick. I think pack 1, pick 1, both of these are kind of close. But Tutelage is just a really insane build around that I would probably take it over Rada, since Rada is a commitment to 2 colors. But this card is also pretty fantastic. It would be hard to know which one to take, but Teferi's Tutelage is much more well supported at common, I think. Whereas the Rada, you do need to commit yourself into 2 colors, and red-green might not be open. Whereas Teferi's Tutelage, you can still be in like blue-red, blue-black, even blue-green, I guess, because blue-green is also trying to draw cards. It's worse in blue-white, because typically speaking, blue-white's looking to be creature-heavy in this set. But yeah, I'll take a Watchdog. I mean, I could also consider a Hobble Fiend, which could be better, but I think we're more inclined to be in whites than anything else so far, so I could just take the Alpine Watchdog here. Pretty unexciting first pick, but I think it kind of makes sense with what we're trying to do. Roaming Ghostlight is great, Grasp of Darkness is great, but we can just take another Ignis Cur as a fine 2-drop. There's another Drowsy Tyrannodon, but we're not green. The Roaming Ghostlight is very good. Is there a chance we can end up in blue-white flyers? Our blue cards aren't really looking to fly. That's the only problem. I think we're just trying to keep the curve early and just be aggressive, so I think I'll take an Ignis Cur. And again, not a very exciting pick, but given our first pack, I think this is the route we want to go. And Sure Strike is a good combat trick / removal spell, perfect in this type of deck. And then Experimental Overload would have been amazing first pack, but just take a Sure Strike. And the question is, do I take a removal spell here or a creature? So 1, 2, 3, 4. The Havoc Jester can be okay, although we're not sacrificing anything. It's just gonna be a random 5 mana 5/5. Could just take a random Onike Ogre just as a 3 mana 4/2, which could be fine. I don't really want an expensive turn to slag in this type of deck. Although it could help us clear a path potentially on turn 5, so we can get a nice attack. We do have Face Fetters, Sure Strike, Scorching Dragonfire, and Shock already, but it's not like Onike Ogre is really that good, to be honest. It's a fine clunky creature, better in like the red-green deck, but yeah, I could use Turn to Slag as a fine removal spell at 5. Maybe that's just better. And now Falconer's Step, I think I'll take that since I'm lacking 4s, and then hopefully I can get another Makeshift Battalion later, but this has upside now since now we have removal. We can fly across, and between Magmut and Gale Sweeper, probably take the Magmut. Gale Sweeper is pretty excellent on turn 4 though. Definitely a huge fan of this, being able to leverage some of our ground creatures flying, but just due to curve purposes and archetype considerations, the Magmut is just a good 2-drop. If we are in a board stall, we can just constantly tap this and ping the opponent. So I do like the Magmut a lot. Do I take a Core Pegasus? Doesn't look too good. Maybe I do just take a random Turret Ogre. Don't think this is a Goblin Arsonist type of deck. I mean, I don't even like the Turret Ogre. We're not a 4-power matters deck. I can still see myself playing it, but we do have a bunch of 2s already. The Concordia Pegasus, I guess, it's just a good creature to curve out with, and if we pick up more flying synergy, it can be okay. Not sure. Maybe I just take a Turret Ogre in case I can't get any good 4s. And then I'll take a random Fervor of the Bitten in case I need to pump my creatures up. And Hobble Fiend Wield, so happy to see this from the first pack, a good 2-drop, and a decent sack outlet in case the opponent tries to kill our stuff. We can sacrifice them in response. And do I main deck a Burn Bright? Probably not. Yeah, it's kind of a dead card at times. I'll take another random Bunch of Smuts, but I could see myself cutting it, and I guess I'll take a random Burn Bright. Take a Prismite in case we have 0 2-drops, but we have a lot already. Destructive Tampering could also be okay. Yeah, we can just make the opponent unable to block a bunch of stuff and get in. It can be a fine finisher, so I could see myself sideboarding this in. And yeah, hopefully next pack we can pick up some better cards. And yeah, why not a Baneslayer Angel? And then I guess I'll cut my Mutt now and just play 1 copy, but the Baneslayer Angel is a powerful bomb, so yeah, easy first pick. If not, another Scorching Dragonfire would be amazing, but yeah, can't say no to a Baneslayer Angel. And Selfless Savior is pretty good as well, although I probably just want a Scorching Dragonfire here. Like, I'm not really looking to protect my creatures all that much. Like, it's nice to kind of protect the Baneslayer Angel, the Siege Striker, Makeshift Battalion, etc. But we're just looking to clear a path, I think, and just getting a ton of damage with what we're trying to do with this deck. So I could just take another Scorching Dragonfire, to be honest. It makes more sense with what we're trying to do. But Selfless Savior I wouldn't mind. It's just very cheap, very efficient, and can also save our creatures. But 1 power isn't going to do much, honestly, so I think it's a Scorching Dragonfire here. And Gale Swooper is a perfect 4-drop, definitely, an improvement over the Turret Ogre. Great with our ground creatures, and also is another flyer that can help us close out the game, so it seems good. And is this a deck for the Palladium Mirror? I'm not looking to really ramp, but it's nice to play this on turn 3 and ramp into a 5-drop, but don't think we're a ramp deck. But we have multiple flyers. Awarded Battlements could have been pretty decent, but I do like the Daybreak Charger a lot. Just a nice 2-drop you can play on turn 2, and then it can also just pump one of our flyers or creatures to get a nice attack, so I'm a huge fan of this. So probably take it here. Battle Rattle Shaman's also fine, but kind of slow and clunky. Playing Mirror I also wouldn't mind just to help ramp, but we're more, again, we're just mostly an aggressive deck, so don't think we need ramp. Charger fits this deck perfectly. I'll take another Hobble Fiend, why not? Don't think I need any interaction. I could consider a Thrill of Possibilities in case I need to kind of dig towards more playables. But the second Hobble Fiend is quite good. I mean, I do have a bunch of 2s already, so not sure if I even want this, to be honest. So maybe just take the Thrill here in case I end up flooding, which can definitely be a problem. And I can even run 17 lands with the Thrill, so I think I'll take the Thrill here. Not sure, but I'll take a 3-drop for sure now since I'm lacking 3s. And this can curve out nicely with Gale Swooper if it ever comes together. So I think I'll take the Turret Ogre here. Wouldn't mind my Valor Steed, but it's still pretty medium. But the Anarchy Ogre is a good 3-drop. And the question is, do I want a Chrome Replicator? Don't have multiple copies other than an Igneous Cur. I do like the dual land to help fix, so that's a nice card to wheel. And good sign that the red-white deck no one else is playing. I already have Destructive Tampering. Maybe I play a Chrome Replicator, we'll see. Put it in the sideboard for now. And then, do I just play double Rambunctious Mutt? I don't really want to run into too many 5s, but I guess I'll take a Silent Dart. Nah, it's pretty bad. I think I'll just take a Rambunctious Mutt here. Don't think I'm playing Staunch Shieldmate. Second Thrill, maybe, not sure. A Dub could be okay. A Dub can be fine. It does leave me open for 2-for-1, but we're lacking some 3-drops, so it can be quite nice to just dub onto a creature and start beating down. So I don't actually get a Dub. And the question is, do we go 17 lands or 16 lands? 17 lands is just very consistent, I guess. We do have the Igneous Cur as mana sinks and the Anointed Courser, so we could use some lands. The Short Sword we can move around, but it's not much. We can also just discard a land to the Thrill of Possibilities as well if we do end up flooding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Unfortunately, didn't pick up an Alpine Houndmaster, but I would have loved to replace the Watchdog with maybe another Hobble Fiend, but it's still a fine 2-drop that I can curve out with. So this is a deck, 14 creatures, so I could see myself cutting a land, but when I throw in the Staunch Shieldmate, I don't think it's too impactful. Could just throw in another 4-drop into this deck if I need it. Or I can just go 17 lands anyways, and hopefully I can just curve out and just hopefully don't flood too much. So I can just go in a random Prismite, but I have a bunch of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus some removal spells. So I do have a lot of early game already in this type of deck. So yeah, but I mean, it's not like we need a bunch of lands. Since, yeah, we just don't need a bunch of lands. So I guess I can just throw in a random Turret Ogre, which, you know, could trigger the Baneslayer Angel or trigger a Igneous Cur on turn 4. Not sure. But yeah, we could run into a problem. I guess I can just throw in a random Defiant Strike, just to pump a creature, and it also just draws us a land or a card. So I guess I can just throw in a random Defiant Strike, which I don't mind, or Birthright. Birthright can maybe steal games, or Fervor to Bitten. but it does force me to attack each turn if able. Maybe I just need a Destructive Tampering as a fine finisher. So there's a lot of options. This is hard. Yeah, the fact I don't have any synergy to Turret Ogre makes me not want to take it. And if I'm running 16 lands, I don't want to run too many 4s, but if I'm running 16 lands, I can go for something cheap, like a Defiant Strike maybe makes sense. The stock Shield Maid, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be very good. So it's probably one of the pump spells here, Defiant Strike, Burn Bright, or Destructive Tampering. I guess Destructive Tampering can maybe make the cuts. And it can also destroy an artifact if that does come up. Since there is the Maleficent Scythe in this deck that I do want to get rid of, and then I guess we can just ditch, we're slightly favoring red, so I could just ditch a white source, so we can still go 9/8. Since I do need some red to pump, I guess we need double white, but that's not until turn 5. So yes, given that we are slightly favoring red, I can just go something like this instead, and just go 16 lands, which I think is okay. Plus the Thrill and the Destructive Tampering, which can just get in for a ton of damage if the opponent doesn't have any flying creatures. So yeah, let's try it out, see how it goes. And just Boros Aggro. I would love to call it Boros Doggos, but unfortunately, know-how masters. And then, yeah, I guess the Baneslayer Angel is a nice poster boy for our mascot for this deck. So yeah, let's give this a try. And hopefully we can curve out reasonably well and just kill the opponent quick. Opening hand, what do we see? 2 drops, 2 drops, 4 drops, seems okay. And then the Scorching Dragonfire can also help us clear a path for the Falconer Depth or to get in for the Chandra's Magma, so I think it's an okay keep. But unfortunately, we're on a draw, so the opponent could develop enough blockers to hold us off, but this is definitely a fine opening hand. I do like the Ignis Cur. This is a better card in the late game where it can trade up, but still fine on turn 2. We can hide our secondary color, although we do need double white. There's only one discard effect in this set. That's a pretty nice 1-drop to start the draft with. I could just play the Ignis Cur to maybe block this. Even Glide Master. I might just trade the Ignis Cur for it. Yeah, I guess I will. Save my Scorching Dragonfire for something better. And I'm fine with the trade. Opponent is also quite aggressive, so he's playing to race us. Library Larcenist, I think I need to maybe get rid of. Although, I think I'll hold on to the Scorching Dragonfire. Yeah, I'll hold on to it in case the opponent tries to enchant the Library Larcenist. I can respond to the Scorching Dragonfire. I guess if he's going to pump the Library Larcenist for the turn, and yeah, and use a lot of mana, we can just respond to this Dragonfire. So not a bad turn. And then we can answer the Anointed Courser later. Here I could just play out the Falconer's Adept and just start making bird tokens, which I think I will. And I could also attack and offer trade, but 1 damage isn't that important. You might just keep this on defense. So not sure if I even want to use the turn to slag. I do like the Gale Swooper though, just being able to help us fly the Falconer's Adept across. So I actually don't hate it there, so we'll just do that instead. Because he could be holding on to like a protection spell. But this is nice, we get to make a bird token and attack for 3. And he can activate this at instant speed, so I don't really want to tap into this. So this is fine. And we do have like 4 power in the air. So that's great, and then the opponent will eventually have to tap out and put like a blocker, so then we can attack past this Anointed Courser. So the opponent just kept up his mana for the whole turn and didn't spend it, so definitely going to be behind here. I don't think I'm blocking this because he can pump, so he gets to free roll me here. But if he wants to pump, he's going to use up his whole turn. So not sure if the opponent wants to do that. Home Anima, I don't really care about too much. Although if we kill it now, I can enable attack with the Falconer's Adept. So maybe I go for it. Just to make another bird token. And he doesn't have anything here. So, and I'm fine trading off for the Keen Glide Master, I guess. Because it can be pretty relatively annoying later. So we'll make another flyer. Force a trade, and then no block. Sure. There's no board wipes in blue or white, so I'm fine just playing everything out here. He can pump this once, but I can just swing back. So it's not really a big deal. Opponent's behind on tempo. I'm fine if he wants to pump, that's just going to use up his whole turn. And you know, I'm making him lose 4 life anyways. So it's really not that good for him. And then here, I can play land, play Daybreak Charger. Fine using Daybreak Charger on, I guess on the 1/1 token. Since I can guarantee an attack, and then the opponent just doesn't have any good blocks. So yeah. I'm just generating bird tokens, dealing more than 4 damage per turn. Opponent is spending 5 mana per turn just getting in for some lifelink hits, which isn't really developing any board advantage. So an opening hand, not bad. I really like the pump with the Daybreak Charger, but I'm fine just playing it out with a 2-drop, to be honest. And then yeah, we'll just play the Short Sword. Next turn play the Daybreak Charger. I'm hoping I can get another 2-drop so I can pump the Sheath Striker for later, like the Chandra's Magmut, perfect. And we are opponent as well. And Drowning Tyrannodon, we put the Scorching Dragonfire away right now, but I do like the Siege Striker on curve. And then we can always just ping the opponent at the turn. And then we might want to use this Dragonfire later next turn since he could Hunter's Edge, which is a problem. Trouble Snout I don't really care about too much. Ping the opponent. Turn to Slag. Okay, I could just equip. I guess I could have just equip onto the Magmut, play the Daybreak Charger, and then just attack. I guess he will trade a Truffle Snout. I'm not sure if I want to use a Dragonfire just yet. I mean, it would be pretty decent. So if I Dragonfire and then equip the sword and then attack, tapping down the Magmut, then I can attack for 6. Pretty interesting because I am expecting a Hunter's Edge here, and we did miss our land drop, so that's not very good. So lots of interesting options. Alternatively, I can just Daybreak Charger. Yeah, I think we'll try that. We'll just Daybreak Charger, pump the Siege Striker, put the Short Sword, I guess, onto the Siege Striker, and then I can attack and then tap down the Daybreak Charger. And if the opponent wants to 2-for-1 himself, that's fine. And then I can still ping the opponent end of turn. But at least that forces a chump. And if he uses Hunter's Edge, I can still move the Short Sword onto the Daybreak Charger to attack. And that's definitely going to get locked down. I definitely need to get rid of that creature, so... So no Hunter's Edge. I think otherwise he would have used it, so we're in a pretty good spot. And I think I need the Scorching Dragonfire. This card is just too scary. And do I attack with Daybreak Charger? I guess I don't mind just attacking the Daybreak Charger, so what I can do is move the combat, attack with both, and then I can just tap the Magmuts and offer to trade for the 3-1. And he can just take 6, which I'm fine with. But he's just going to take all the hits because he wants to preserve his creatures, so yeah, do I move the Short Sword? I don't know, probably not, no reason to. Just the extra bonus from the Siege Striker makes them very difficult to block. Even Gagglemancer just gaining a ton of life, that's fine. I can play out the Falconer's Adept. Yeah, I guess I will. And I can also tap the Daybreak Charger, so I think I'll try that. So we'll move the combats. I think I'm tapping down both the Magmut and the Adept, just in case he first strikes. Just so it becomes a 4-4, I can still first strike away the Aven Gagglemancer if he decides to double block, and that's usually just better. Yeah, but with the opponent just throwing his creatures away, the Siege Striker is just really obnoxious, so yeah, not bad. Happy that I took it pretty late in the first pack. And 16 lands is pretty awesome in this deck. It's probably not Ben Stark. I think his name is Ben_S or Ben S. So yeah, well, we have our 5-drop bomb, but we don't have a lot of lands. We still have a 1-drop sword and Hobble Fiend. I guess I'll try it since I'm on the play, but I can definitely see this being a mulligan. But turn 2 Hobble Fiend can be great. Just need to hit my land drops. I'll leave the Hobble Fiend since it deals the most damage. But if I do miss my land drops, this can be problematic. You can see it draws me Tyrannodon on turn 2, which is a great card. Which I'm fine just putting the sword in and trading, or just developing the Igneous Cur, honestly. Don't want to trade here, not really. I mean, it's not bad, it'll trample over for 1. I'll attack, I mean. The trade is okay. At least I can get rid of this annoying blocker, and then I might as well just play the Magmuts. And we're missing land drops, so I guess that's the problem with running 16 lands now, but I mean, you can still get land screwed in 17 lands. But I'm hoping this doesn't come back to bite me here. I can equip and then play the Igneous Cur, got a land drop, so yeah, don't mind hitting him for 3. Play the Igneous Cur, and then I can take 2 on the way back, which I'm fine with. I don't think I need to Dragonfire this, since there could be much more scarier 3-drops to deal with, so. Tortuous Flying, I don't care. Snare Spinner, I don't care. And I could dub. Dub isn't bad. Although he could double block my Chandra's Magmuts. So I'm not sure here. Maybe I just dub onto the Igneous Cur and start attacking, since if he does kill my Magmuts, this could be worse, since I might need this to just ping the opponent. So yeah, let's just dub. I could also just dub the Magmut here, but I think I want to diversify. And then end of turn, I can still ping the opponents for 1 and keep the 3/3 back on defense. And I can also pump this too, so it also becomes a pretty powerful first striker. So it kind of makes sense to play this. Mind Rotting me, okay. I guess we're never going to cast a Scorched Face Fetter or Baneslayer Angel, so I mean, unfortunately, I don't want to discard these 2, but I think it's the correct choice. So we'll just do that, and then I guess this is a turn where I can attack with both. And then if he double blocks, I can use a Scorching Dragonfire to finish one of them off, so I guess we'll go for it here. Since he's really not playing anything. And yeah, I guess we'll lead with the snare spinner first. Or the cage zombie. Yeah, the cage zombie first, I guess. And then we'll use the scorching dragonfire onto the snare spinner in case he uses a trick onto the cage zombie, so we can guarantee a kill on the cage zombie instead. Okay, just gonna stack it, that's fine. And we're still able to at least kill everything. But the Mind Rod hurt us pretty badly. Because now if we end up flooding, that's a problem. But luckily we do have an igneous curve that can grow pretty large. So I can move the blade and still pump this into 6 power, so that's pretty good. And it has first strike, so not bad. Probably not blocking, and then I can get it to 6, which is great. And then I can also just pump the Chandra's Magma, so not bad. Ignite the first strike on the igneous curve. And yeah, we missed our land drops, so this card didn't hurt us that badly. I guess this will shoot down my Chorister, which is pretty annoying, but I mean, what can I do? I can still first strike away the Colossal Dreadmaw next turn, so definitely going to take 6. I'm fine with that exchange. Since I should be winning this race if the opponent doesn't chump block. But he's definitely forced to chump block in this scenario. And the question is, I could also just attack with a Magma, because if he doesn't block the Ignis Curve, he's just dead. So I think I'm going to go for it here. As much as I would love to, as much as I would love to not attack into it, I think it's better to just get in for 2. I can even shock his face if he tries to Mind Rot me again. Opponent's probably not in the position to, I mean, I could just shock end of turn and then hope to ping him to death. Because let's see, if I shock him at 2, next turn he's probably forced to chump the Igneous Curve, and then I can still, wow, he's attacking, jeez. Yeah, that's quite, that's a little bit too ambitious, I think. Might have a removal spell here. Epitaph Golem, pretty annoying. I guess he's still playing a chump. Yeah, I guess I'll shock face. And then yeah, he can't block. He needs to he can chump the Magma, but he's dead. So yeah, GG's. Yeah, missing our land drops, and we still managed to just curve out and kill the opponent. So Dub doing a lot of work in that matchup, and the opponent also had a pretty nice Mind Rod against us, getting rid of Baneslayer, Angel, and the Face Fetter. So that was an example of us getting land screwed, but still managing to deploy enough 2-drops to take over a slow opponent. He also has some decent blockers too, but yeah. Let's keep this up. We're stuck with 4 lands that entire game, funny enough. But hopefully we can get lands here, and we do. Easy first. We can annoy the Chorister and then pump with a Daybreak Charge again for 3 life link. But hopefully it doesn't put any blockers in the way. I don't like the destructive tampering, but it could be useful later. And I'll probably just favorite charger and offer a trade here since, you know, he does get the 2-2 out of the way. I can always pump this later, but I don't think I want to waste my time. And if he wants to trade, that's okay. I can play the Onike Ogre and also offer a trade next turn. And he plays nothing, so that's good. And then Onike Ogre and the Gale Super is great. So he tries to put a creature to block this. I can just give it flying and guarantee 4 damage next turn. Can't be Stalker. Yeah, we'll just Gale Super up and force him to trade for the 3-1. And as you can see, this deck is definitely very aggressive. You can also just stay back and then swing and then trade for my Gale Swooper. But I think this is better. He does trade down. And I get a flyer out. I can't be Stalker. Do I just attack with both still? No, I guess I'd rather just attack with the 3-2 and then trade for the Magma since the 4-2 hits a lot harder, so we'll do that instead, play land and say go. And we're just running away with 16 lands still. I'm fine trading the Magma for this since the 4-2 hits harder. Although the Magma can ping the opponent, but it's still pretty slow. 200 deck. Okay, so that's a nice comeback. I have to block this, so I'm losing creatures here. But I'm still pretty ahead in the race. I guess I'll just play out the Rambunctious Muds. And then just offer to trade. Tampering is not going to do much. I'm hoping he doesn't have another Hunter's Edge, otherwise he could just win the game here. A dub, okay, that's bad. I guess I'll just chump this all day, which I'm fine with because I'm on a 3-turn clock at least. Ooh, Baneslayer Angel. Alright, I guess we'll do it here. And hopefully this doesn't play anything else. This will be a trade at least. He has another pump trick. I mean, at least he's pumping his creature, and it doesn't have trample, so that's actually not that bad for me. Because he's not gaining life if this survives, so he needs a removal spell for the Gale Super right now, or he's just dead. So I actually didn't mind that exchange with the Invigorating Surge, and we'll probably just kill him this turn. So hopefully no flying blocker, but Baneslayer Angel, okay. But we got Return to Flag, so that's pretty awesome. So that's how Coreset 2021 works. Everyone's playing aggro and removal spells, and that was a pretty nice Furnace Flag I took. So, and we're Mythic rank, so not a bad way to end the season. Although our ranking is going to be pretty low in terms of Mythic, since we're pretty late to the party. But that was a pretty nice top deck, I think. Did I top deck that? Not sure if I top decked the Turn to Slag. I think I did. But that was very clutch. And yeah, with 16 lands, we're still 4-0, so let's keep this up. No creatures. I do have a Thrill on turn 2. On the play, I don't think I can keep this. I would need a 2-drop to dub onto and the Sure Strike. Yeah, I can't keep a hand with 0 creatures, but this hand is okay. I can ditch the Rambunctious Mud and then hopefully get a nice 2-drop to curve into with the Siege Striker. But it's definitely an improvement over the first hand. Also mulligan, so alright. With turn 1 Anointed Coreset, we do have Baneslayer Angel on 5. So he's just going to chip in, gain some life. Short sword, not bad. So this could be a creature I might need to face better later. I could also consider trading for it, which isn't all too bad, honestly. And if he wants to use like a way to save this, then I can still like face Veteran on turn 4. So I actually don't mind trading for the Anointed Chorister. It's a pretty annoying card, and there's a chance I don't have any creatures to play into, and to get this double strike. And if I still get a 2-drop, it's still fine trading this off. But this is another one of those weird clunky hands. I think I'm blocking here. And because this can be pretty annoying later on, just being able to gain a ton of life. So yeah, if he wants to use a trick, I'm fine with it. But trade is fine. And land is fine. And then if he tries to equip onto a creature with a short sword, I can eventually just kill it and destroy the equipment as well. Opponent has his own Siege Striker. Ooh, Igneous Cur with Sure Strike could be fine. Yeah, we'll take it slow. I'll play the Igneous Cur. And then he might just equip onto this and attack. I can also Sure Strike to offer a potential trade. I'm hoping I can maybe pick up a land next turn to kill the Siege Striker as well. So probably just fine taking the hit for now. And then next turn we can hopefully turn the Slag and kill it. But I'll take 6. I can also block it and Sure Strike, but I think I'll be a little bit greedy here. Since land at the top, too bad, no land, so I guess I could just face Fetter this. Or try to Sure Strike an Anointed Chorister to maybe deal something larger. Maybe that's just better. So yeah, I guess I'll try that instead. I guess the Sure Strike will only make this, I guess it'll be 4 power, so that's fine. I guess trading this isn't too bad, and then I can still block the opponent's Anointed Chorister if he goes for it. And then if he does have a trick, I can still hopefully get a land to turn the Slag this next turn. So which one do I get rid of? I guess it's better to so I guess it's better to gain some life with this, because this does cost 5 to pump, which I'm not sure if I want to do, whereas the Igneous Cur has a built-in pump ability, which could be more useful later. And if he does try anything here, then that's fine. Okay, that's okay. I do get 2 for 1, but okay, this isn't good. I guess I'll face Fetter this now. And if he wants to move the blade around, hopefully I can get a 5th land to potentially kill the creature and the equipment. I got 2 for 1 pretty badly there with the shock, so that's the reason why it's not that great. A full count. I guess I can still trade with the Anointed Chorister, but I guess he's going to move the weapon. So I guess I'll take 5. And then hopefully I can deal with this threat next turn. And yeah, turn to Slag is not bad. I think I'll just cast it here, get rid of equipment, and then just attack for 1. And then hopefully the Baneslayer Angel can help me stabilize. But the opponent's definitely holding on to removal, I have to imagine. Maybe it's better to just play double Igneous Cur and trade. Maybe that's just better. And hopefully he uses a removal spell on one of them. because he could use the removal on the Baneslayer Angel, which I don't want. Because he's been definitely sandbagging some cards in his hand, so probably better to just trade for the Anike Ogre, take 2. But the Gale Swooper is going to be a problem. So definitely need to maybe play the Baneslayer Angel next turn. And yeah, I don't mind trading for the Bolthound because that's going to deal a ton of damage, so this is fine. And if I get land next turn, I can still Baneslayer Angel and keep up the Ignis per activation. Short Sword, okay, I guess I'll just play the Baneslayer Angel now. Hopefully he doesn't have removal. And yeah, hopefully this stays on the battlefield so I can block and essentially just win the game with it. So hopefully no removal. Opponent's taunting us. But yeah, probably doesn't have any. I'm hoping he doesn't have any because if this sticks around I can just win. Trade off the Igneous Cur for something else. Okay, so he doesn't have anything other than Igneous Cur. So, Destructive Tampering isn't that great, but I can still trade the Igneous Cur here and then move the blade around. Yeah, I think I'll attack for 6 and then move the blade around to the Igneous Cur and then trade for his Igneous Cur. But gaining 10 life is good, and I think that's my only way I can actually win, so I can also just keep the blade on it, honestly, because he could have a turn to slag. What does this do? I mean, I guess if he has a turn to slag and it destroys the equipment, the Baneslayer Angel will die anyway, so maybe it's better to just move the Short Sword in case he answers the Baneslayer Angel. And I can just trade for the Igneous Cur, he can attack back for 7, but I'm just gaining 6 life per turn. Selfless Savior, pretty annoying. But I think I have to block here and force him to sack it. Yeah, I guess it has to happen. I'll take 7. Hopefully I can find more creatures to trade off with. This Tampering isn't doing anything. Thrill possibilities, discard Tampering seems fine. Ooh, and then we can also play the Falconer's Adept, which could be okay, so I don't hate this card. Do I get in for 9? I guess I do. Because it's just too good not to get the lifelink hit in, and then I can still trade this for the Igneous Curse, so I'm hoping this gets nothing but a land. Yeah, we're definitely blocking the Igneous Curse here. It takes 7. Hopefully no shock or 2 damage off the top. I could have maybe just kept the Baneslayer Angel back on defense as well, but I think the lifelink thing is worth it. So I attack for 6, I go up to 8, he can put me down to 1, but I think I need to get in. Although the Goblin Arsonist might be a problem. We do have a makeshift battalion though, which can trade, so yeah, let's get in for 6. And then I guess I'll move this around in case he has a shot, and trade for the Anike Ogre. And I'll still take 4, which is okay. That's fine, I'll trade for the Anike Ogre. Opponent just passes, okay, I guess we'll just keep moving this around and attacking. And this does play around with shock, so say go. We can block the Anike Ogre, and he doesn't have enough to get to 14. Guess I'll block the makeshift battalion. Does he have anything here? He would need like a Sure Strike. I guess I can just block the makeshift battalion if he attacks 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, Sure Strike won't do it, so he definitely needs to have some sort of removal spell for the Baneslayer Angel, but this card just managed to steal the entire game. The opponent just didn't have any removal, and yeah, nice pack 3, pick 1 bomb in white. Another reason why white is broken is because of this dumb card, as well as Basri's Acolyte and Gale Swoopers and Feeder Resistance and the Selfless Savior, and also Siege Striker and other great creatures. Alright, 5-0, keep this up. Opening hand, well, I don't like the Daybreak Charger that much on 2, but it is a 2-drop. And I'm on the play, so I guess I'm keeping. I guess it'll be a 4-2 on turn 3. But overall, I'd rather just have another 2-drop to curve into with this, but I think I have to keep this. Plus, it's a good game. Okay. Does that mean he's keeping a 1-lander? I guess he has a shot. He might be keeping a 1-lander here. Okay. Maybe he's a blue-red spells deck and he's being cocky, yeah. Could just have a really busted blue-red spells deck. And yeah, we don't have anything, so we'll just say go. Don't think there's any equipment, so the Turnus Slag won't get too much value off of this. And I don't think I'm going to use a base fetter on a 1-3, so we'll just say go. Next turn we can just put out the Rambunctious Mutt. That's a pretty annoying card. I really want to trade off for it. I can turn the Slag just to play a removal spell on curve and get rid of this. I don't really want to trade off the Igneous Curve because I do need that as a creature. I could just take 4 next turn, put on the Short Sword onto the Igneous Curve, and then kill this next turn. Because there's a chance you could play something better. So I'm not entirely sold on using the Turn to Slag yet. We'll just say go. So maybe fine taking 4 because I can always just swing back. Well, just passes the turn, okay. Maybe he has a remove spell, although Scorching Dragonfire is great. So maybe just say go, end the turn, use Scorching Dragonfire on it or on his upkeep, but we'll see. We'll see what he does end the turn. Because that was just strange, not attacking. I guess he doesn't want to trade this off. I'm hoping he does something here so I can Scorching Dragonfire in response. Sublime Epiphany, return target. So he's trying to create a copy, but in response I will kill this. So then he doesn't get the copy, and then all he does is bounce my creature and draw cards, so he gets pretty bad value off of this. So that wasn't bad. Happy I kept up the Scorching Dragonfire to play around the Sublime Epiphany, because this card is definitely a powerful bomb. But yeah, not bad. Shock, Epiphany, Fishburn Devils is okay. I think I'll kill it with a Turn to Slag, since he can just shoot down any of my creatures in the future, and that's not great. Yeah, we'll just kill it. I'll take 3, but that's fine. Because I don't really want him using this ability to snipe down my creatures. Another Redounding Arcanist I'm fine with. Experimental Overload, getting back Sublime Epiphany, so that's pretty strong. But he doesn't really have anything great to copy back, so this could just be our turn to tap out, which I'm liking. And then I guess I'll put the sword onto the Igneous Curve, because he might use the Sublime Epiphany to bounce. I'll take this with my equipment, pretty annoying. Guess I can take 2 and swing back for 4. Yeah, I guess I will. He could double block. But am I fine with that? Not really. I'll just play the Rambunctious Mutt. I mean, eventually I have to get past this, but yeah, I don't think I'm trading a 4-2 for a 1-3. just force him to maybe use Sublime Epiphany, and then that's okay. Anake Ochre. He might make a copy of this. I can shock in response, so that's great. So yeah, I think I'll just say go, and then use shock in response when he tries to copy the Anake Ogre. And hopefully he doesn't have any more spell keeper weirds. Volcanic Salvo, that's pretty strong. Alright, yeah, the opponent has a pretty strong deck, obviously, so probably have to use a shock here on the Anake Ogre just to prevent the most damage. And it's just sufficient removal, hopefully nothing here, so I guess we're taking 4. And yeah, Volcanic Salvo, Sublime Epiphany, opponent's not joking around, although now I can cast this with Baneslayer Angel, he's forced to bounce back. And he can't counter it with Sublime Epiphany, so not bad. And if he does, I can just recast it, and I can also just use Space Fetter, so not a bad top deck. Little form, I could just enchant. Turn this flag, wow, another one? Jesus, okay. So yeah, this is not going to be easy. I think I just fire off the Face Fetter now, before it just kills me. But yeah, a lot of good removal, Salvo, and Sublime Epiphany as a powerful bomb. So yeah, blue-red control, not bad. Do I have any more bombs? Probably not, just a bunch of random 2-drops. So he should be able to take over the game from here. So yeah, if he bounces my Chandra's Magma, I'm just dead, so GG's. The opponent wasn't joking when he said good game in his opening hand. But I tried my best, he even managed to Scorching Dragon Fire on that Ogre he tried to target. But he just had removal to answer my Baneslayer Angel. If Baneslayer Angel stayed on the battlefield, I think I would have won that game. Because even if he bounced the Baneslayer Angel, I can just recast it. And he didn't really have anything great to copy. But all in all, no doubt people are going to get busted decks in Limited. Opening hand, ooh, Anointed Chorister, Alpine Watchdog, Magma, seems great. I think I'll leave with the Chorister. And there's an argument for playing Alpine Watchdog or Chandra's Magma first. The Magma, in case he has a good blocker, I can still ping. And since he's playing green, there's a chance he could have, the Drowsing Pteranodon. So I think I think it's fine playing out the Magma first in case you want to tap it and ping him. But if you play like red for a shock, I'd rather just play the Alpine Houndmaster. Dried is okay. I could consider just trading for it, honestly, and I will. This can grow over time, and I'm fine trading the Coreset, but alright, no blocks, so we're just curving out. Eventually, we should be able to get double red for turn to slag, since I'm running a little bit more red than white. I can also just activate Sure Strike, Conflict Mentor. Ooh, that's scary. Ooh, I can thrill possibilities. But I think I'll send in both of my tutus and see what's up. And nothing, okay. I could just thrill the planes. Is that unreasonable? Or just throw away the Sure Strike since he's not blocking. Maybe I'll throw away the Sure Strike. So I could have just done that main phase. But for now, let's just throw away the Sure Strike. It doesn't seem like they're trying to block in this matchup. And then I can still turn to slag this Conflict Mentor next turn. Or take out the Dryad. Maybe the Dryad because it's just gaining 2 counters here. Yeah, I probably need to take out the Dryad. And then we can attack with both. Actually, no, I'd rather just attack and offer to trade. And he wants to trade for the Magma, that's fine. And hopefully no more counter synergy, because this card can definitely get out of hand. Not sure if it was correct to discard the Sure Strike, since now I might just flood. But I was pretty desperate to get a land drop to kill the Dryad. But now the Wildwood Scourge is a problem, so should have considered that. I guess I'll just cast Hobble Fiend and play the dual land now. And hopefully the opponents, I can somehow kill this, or find Face Fetter for this, or find a Gale Swooper to get across with this, or one of my bombs. But not a bad synergistic white-green deck. Definitely going to take 5 here. There's no reason for me to not to block, since I'm the one that's being aggressive in this matchup. Just going to play out my land so I can eventually activate my Coreset twice. So, opponent's at 10. I always have the Hobble Fiend if I want to activate. And yeah, we're just drawing a bunch of lands. How much lands is this? I can activate this. I guess if I play one more land next turn, I can activate this 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I guess I can play planes next turn and activate this twice if I want to. So I'll consider that. The Igneous Couriers can also trade eventually, so not bad, but the opponent is just keeping up a bunch of mana. You could have a swift response, so I might not want to attack, instead just develop a board. Actually, I do need one more land for the Anointed Coreset, so we'll see. I think he's holding up a swift response, if I'm not mistaken. But this Scourge is just being really annoying. And then in response, I'll stack it to gain a counter onto the Hobble Fiend. I don't get a 1/1, but yeah, there's the argument of letting that resolve so I can make a 1/1 token instead. So not sure if that was correct. Probably not. But the opponent's also not doing anything and just giving me enough time to find some answers to this. And the Igneous Courier is bad. Can maybe eventually trade off for the Conflict Mentor. Yeah, I should maybe let this resolve so I would at least have a 1/1 token to chump block with, if I wanted to. Truffles now can trade, that's annoying. I think he wants to gain 4 life, but I guess I'll grow the Wildwood Scourge, so probably need to keep the Igneous Courier back on defense to trade, since I'm not really in the mood for attacking. So I can pump this how many times? 3 times, so I mean, I guess I don't mind blocking and trading here. if the opponent tries anything, I can just sack it to the Hobble Fiend. But this is a reasonable trade if the opponent wants to trade his Scourge for the Igneous Curve. Kind of makes sense. And I guess next turn is kind of my window to attack. And if he tries to block my Alpine Watchdog, ooh, I guess I can shock this now. Yeah, I think I will. And hopefully no stupid tricks again. He's probably holding up something. That's so annoying. Does he have Hexproof? A stupid pump trick as well. Feet of Resistance, of course. So fucking annoying. I mean, I could have maybe done that in response after attacking, so maybe I shouldn't have done that. But now, just 2021, Lawless Scourge is just going to steal me the game. So fucking stupid. This is why White is so dumb in this set. Just being able to just have stuff like Feet of Resistance is really annoying. Hopefully I can keep chumping this, but I'm not going to block here. I'm hoping I can find maybe a Gale Keeper to start getting across and then start doing the chumping. So annoying. Yeah, so fucking stupid. I should have just attacked and then just... And then if he tries to use Feet of Resistance, I'll just respond with a shock. That was really dumb. So fucking dumb. And of course he's keeping up Feet of Resistance. Okay. Alright, 5 and 2, so we were close to getting swept apparently, but there's still a chance we can get to 7. The last two opponents just had good synergistic decks. Okay, let's see. Opening hand. Alright, 1 drop, 2 drops. I think I'm keeping. Hopefully I can get more lands for later, but we can definitely have an explosive start. Probably going to leave with the Alpine Watchdog since it's probably the weakest of our creatures, of our 2s, and I'd rather have that get killed. Silent Dart. Okay. Guess I'll attack. We'll probably use a shock here. But I'll play with Alpine Watchdog here. And hopefully if he shocks that, that's fine. Because red has a lot of removal and I just want to play my bad stuff first. Next turn he can activate the Silent Dart, so I probably need to just throw in the Hobble Fiend. The Magma might be more important just because it can ping him constantly, but yeah, we'll see. I guess I can just play land here. And I guess I could just play Hobble Fiend first, in case he tries to kill one of the creatures, and I can sacrifice them in response. So this isn't bad, and then if he tries to kill it, so this might force him to use it now. So if he tries to use a shock, I'll just sacrifice it to Hobble Fiend. But I'm happy with him using it here. So yeah, he had a removal spell anyways. Could see a second shock. Oh But yeah, just having the 1-2 drop pressuring the opponent early while he's being reactive and not doing much is pretty important. So we'll move to combat. And if he takes it, he's probably sandbagging the Silent Dart. But I'll still play my Magma into it. At least this forces him to use it. And I still have some removal in my hand that can help me clear a path against the opponent. But he hasn't been playing anything. A Kite Self Rebooter, but I can still... I guess he wants to take the Scorching Dragon Fire because I can just kill it if he takes anything else. And that would be kind of brutal, so... yeah. I can eventually find like a turn this lag to answer this, but I do like my land drop here, so I can attack for 2. And then play out the Falconer Depth, which can attack past the 1-2. But splashing for a Kite Self Rebooter is a little bit ambitious, I say. You can still block off my flyers, but if I can get a land, I can enable an attack with the Unlimited Chorister. So he just passes the turn. I think I want to cast the Baneslayer Angel, not sure. Actually, I'll just attack with ball, and if he has a response to my Unlimited Chorister pumping, if he blocks it, that's fine. That at least makes him use a removal spell, and he has nothing, so yep. Definitely a weird set to be splashing the Kite Self Rebooter. But he did absolutely pretty much nothing. The first couple of turns, no creatures, just trying to kill off my threats, but this is really a highly aggressive set where you just want to play lots of creatures. And yeah, currently 6-2. Hopefully we can get the final boss. So we'll go for it. And yeah, we'll see if the final boss is a mythic opponent. And what is it? Yeah, it is a mythic opponent and pretty high ranking, so this would be a pretty nice final boss for us to take out. And we do have some 2-drops and 3-drops, so I'm keeping. Opponent's on the play, also playing red, so okay, short sword is a nice one play. Probably fine leaving the Hobble Fiend as opposed to the Magbutt, although the Magbutt can block the course, the Igneous Curve, but I guess I'd rather just trade with it, honestly, with the Hobble Fiend. And I will, since it's pretty annoying later. The Chandra's Magbutt would force him to pump and would make him lose tempo. But yeah, at least he's using a removal spell on it, and that's fine. So now I can hopefully resolve this Onike Ogre, or I can just play the Windscarred Crag and play the Magmuts, which could also be better. I'm not sure. I'll save the Crag for later. Maybe this forces him to stay on defense. And that's a sign he doesn't have a shock, because he would have shocked this at the turn. So I'm not blocking this. But if he wants to, that's fine. That's going to use up a lot of his turn. But this doesn't play as a 2-drop. That can block, but I can maybe dub here. I guess I can just move the Short Sword. Yeah, I can just move the Short Sword and cast, I guess, the Chandra's Magmuts. And this gets him for 3, so that's fine. Do I want to trade for the Igneous Curve? I guess I will, because it does make him spend mana for the turn. And he might not have anything back to hold off this Onike Ogre. A Swift Response, sure. Dragonfire. Oh, I guess I'll cast the Igneous Curve and put a sword on it. So the sword is pretty good in the aggressive mirrors. Just the extra toughness can matter. Let's see a turn to slag. Ooh, base fetters. That's not bad, since I can use Rambunctious Mutt to get rid of it. But the opponent also isn't really doing much here, so I do like the Scorching Dragonfire on the Igneous Curve, and then I can still take 2. And then if I can get a land for the Rambunctious Mutt, that would be awesome. this is top deck mode, and I still have 3 cards in the deck. Okay, that's great, so now I can Rambunctious Mutt and destroy the face fetters. So not a bad sleeper card. And I could also just attack to offer to trade with the Magmuts, which I don't mind, since this is going to eventually just ping me to death. And I can also just dub onto this if I take another land, so I can make Battalion onto it, so not bad. Okay, so not bad. I think I'll dub onto the Rambunctious Mutt, given how tanky it is, and it's pretty hard to destroy unless you have a Swift Response or a whatchamacallit, Face Feathers, which he already used, so him taking 5 is just a lot. Plus stays back, I can Gale Swooper here. Yeah, I guess I'll just equip onto Makeshift Battalion, Gale Swooper onto the Rambunctious Mutt, and he's still kind of forced to chump the 4/3 in a sense, if he has removal for the Rambunctious Mutt. But yeah, Dub doing a lot of work. Could have moved this to the Gale Swooper, so he wouldn't shock our flyer, so I could have considered that instead, but yeah, we got him. Rank 8 Mythic, final boss, and we still managed to get to 7-2. Was a little bit salty when I went 5-2, since the opponents that we faced against just had busted starts. The one with Sublime Epiphany, and a million removal spells, and then the green-white deck with the Giant Wild with Scourge, just blocking us forever, and my potential chance to at least shock the Conclave Mentor away, but Conclave Mentor can be busted in the right deck. And there we have it, another nice 7-win video, although this one is only 7-2. I'm going to do a pretty quick overview. So yeah, red-white aggro is really strong this set. I think white in general is very strong. You definitely want to lean towards the aggressive white decks in this deck. Not saying there's other interesting archetypes. I think blue-red is also one of the best top-tier archetypes, the blue-red aggressive decks. The blue-red aggro deck, of course, playing lots of shocks and scorching dragonfires, and also the experimental overloads. But for the most part, white is kind of where you want to be, since they just have such amazing removal like Swift Response, Face Fetters, amazing threats like Gale Swooper, Basri's Acolyte, even Makeshift Battalion and Daybreak Charger are standout commons, as well as Anointed Chorister, and then we also just had Baneslayer Angel in this deck, which stole a couple of games, I have to say. But all in all, not a bad deck. Managed to get to 7 wins, and just pretty much an aggressive curve out of 1-drops, with 2 1-drops, a couple of other 2-drops, and then a few 3-drops plus 4-drops, and then some of our top end threats managed to just take the game over. And even with 16 lands, we managed to curve out quite nicely in some of our games. There was one game where we were stuck on 3 to 4 lands, and we were stuck on 2, and we went up to only 3 and 4 lands, and we still managed to win that one. I think it was the one with the dub, Igneous Curve. So this is a nice combo, since the Igneous Curve can pump itself to for higher power, so it makes it pretty difficult to block if it has first strike. So I'm a big fan of having 1 copy of dub in these Boros aggro decks. But yeah, not bad. And then this is another nice 7-win draft video. Might do a Tinker's Cube draft to kind of, again, round out the season so far, but let's claim our prize and pretend we're drafting a Coreset 2021 draft. And pack 1, pick 1. Let's say we're drafting Coreset 2021. What do we have? The fine pleasure of opening today. Yeah, we'll take the Warren in the Woods over Hellkite Punisher. This is a fine late game card, but again, in red, unless you're like a controlling blue-red spells deck or a red-green ramp deck, you can usually just run the opponent down by just playing a bunch of aggressive creatures, like what I just did in this draft video. So no need for a Hellkite Punisher, but the Warren in the Woods is really strong. Perfect in kind of the green ramp decks, since it's a powerful curve topper with vigilance. Definitely difficult to deal with, and the moment the opponent tries to target us with like even an enchantment-based removal spell or an ability, you can just draw 2 cards off of it. So great value, excellent card to draft some sort of green ramp deck with. But yeah, it's probably the pick over to Hellkite Punisher. But Hellkite Punisher is definitely can be pretty strong too, but I don't want to take it unless I'm ramping into this. Yeah, I'll take a Lore Scale Quado. It is 2 colors, but it's definitely pretty powerful if you can get this going. It's also in green, so there's a chance you could end up splashing it if you pick up a card like Cultivate or some other dual face lands. But really, the fixing this set isn't great unless you pick up Solemn Simulacrum or the Cultivate. There's a Kinetic Augur, which is fine. Definitely solid in any blue-red spells deck, aggressive or controlling, since it can just gain a ton of power, has good toughness. And then, yeah, it also comes with a nice relevant discard ability in case you're flooding in the late games. So I do like Kinetic Augur, but I think the Lore Scale Quado can be pretty insane to deal with if it gets out of hand. And there's a lot of card draw in this set, so it's pretty easy to just make this into a large creature that requires a very specific answer. So huge fan of Lore Scale Quado, but Kinetic Augur also pretty solid in the blue-red spells deck. And then there's Rise again for the Black Reanimator deck. So there you have it, another nice 7-win video, and hopefully I can just end the season with a nice 7-win Tinkerer's Cube draft, which should be pretty fun. So in the meantime, hope you guys have a nice day and stay safe.